Okay, is that working? Can you hear me? Am I too loud? I might need to turn this down. Okay, testing, testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. Is this working? Can I be heard now? Do I have volume? Can I be seen and can I be heard? If you can see me and hear me, give me a schmoogity doogity. No problem, take your time, no worries. Thank you so much. You're very welcome. You're Lesbo's favorite Lesbo. Okay. We can hear you. All right, here we go. Now we're getting somewhere. I was talking into the void there for a minute and wondering why I wasn't getting the responses I'm used to getting to, so... That's my bad. How are you, Lesbos? It's been a long time since I've been here, so... I can see the drawings and I can hear. Perfect! Huzzar. Am I too loud? Am I too quiet? Do I need to adjust my volume levels? You can help me out here with your Lesbos friend with this here stream. That way I could do more of these in the future. Eventually I would like to start making like a podcast where I just doodle and talk to other artists, or anyone for that matter. And but I gotta get these technical difficulties out of the way first. I'm doing great. Gotta work in a few though. Oh, no worries. Where do you work, my friend? Nah, it's great. The volumes levels are great. Are perfect. Yes, tell me where you work. What is work like? What is happening? What is going down? What is going on? Oh, interesting. I don't see the chat in YouTube, but I see it in OBS. That's weird. It doesn't even tell me how many people are in the chat. That's crazy. Oh well. We'll figure it out. Sound is perfect. Okay. You work at a local restaurant. Do you do, are you a cook? Are you a server? Are you a bus person? Making money as a waitress. There you go. That's the spirit. I imagine that if you live in the U.S., that it's beginning a little bit more complicated with like tariffs and stuff, or do you find it's pretty much the same for you? I don't like this delay in broadcasting. YouTube has a very big delay in broadcasting. Like TikTok, it's almost instant, but with YouTube, it takes a lot longer. You have noticed a difference? You're saying yes. So you've noticed a difference with the tariffs and stuff? Oh, you're in Canada. Oh, okay, you're in Canada. Okay. And Sam Brightwell is here. Hello, Sam Brightwell. You sound like a cool person. It's not a big restaurant. I didn't think so. You said it was a local restaurant, so I'd imagine it'd just be something just kind of bare bones. You're probably one of the few servers there, like probably one of 3, I'd imagine, right? Your favorite Lesbo? Probably 3 servers, 1 or 2 hostesses or hosts. Most of the time hosts are female, so I don't know. I'm the only waitress, so all the tips go to me and me only. Look at that. Look. This is what it's all about. It's about pocketing all those tips. Wait, 3? You're saying that there's 3 daggum hosts? There's 3 hosts and hostesses? Daggum. That's some high overhead. That's what they call top heavy. Call it top heavy. You do all the work and hell yeah. You do all the work and we'll watch you make sure you do it right. That's top heavy, my friend. Well, it seems like we all have to go through that, don't we? I'm sorry that it's your turn now to be the one having to deal with top heavy crowds. I mean, you and millions and millions and millions of others, but it's that time of your life where it seems like that's the only kind of job you can get. But that means more tips for you, so that makes me happy, which makes you happy, which you're happy, makes me happy, and I think It's all, what do they call it? They call it a balancing act, right? You trade one problem for another. You could have worked in a restaurant where it wasn't as top heavy, but then you wouldn't make as much tips. So we trade our problems for other problems. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I would love to make a podcast. Yeah, everyone is happy. I don't know if you're being sarcastic. Tell me, Lesbos, how long have we known each other? And where did we meet? Was it here on YouTube? Unfortunately, my memory gets hazy and I forget a lot of things, unfortunately. Or did you come from you now? Or did you come from Twitch? Or did you come from Instagram? Or did you come from you now? No, I'm genuinely sad. Oh, I'm sorry, Lesbos. I'm sorry. Life always finds a way to keep us in the dirt. On TikTok, through the Discord server mostly. Aha! That server no longer exists. I refuse to get back on Discord. That was such a... I don't know what it is about Discord. It wasn't like the people that were in it. There was just something about it that when I get on it, I would just feel so depressed. And it's not like I said, it wasn't the people. The people were cool. There was just something about that just made me so icky, and I didn't like it. I don't understand. I'm the Krusty Helmet, and I'm not sus Michelle Obama. You're Krusty Helmet, okay. Yeah, why? I can't figure it out. There's just something weird about it. Every time I get on, I would just get weirdly depressed. And I was like, I tried really hard to keep it going, and even Panlicker tried to keep it going for me, and I just couldn't stand anymore. I was like, this thing has got to go. I can't stand this. Maybe I need therapy. I don't know. You tell me. Perhaps it's therapy that I need. I know there was a fight, and I think between the mods. Yes, but I fixed that. I fixed it, and even still, I was just like, I don't feel any better about this situation. It's okay. Because at the end of the day, what's important are these live streams. I think that these live streams are plenty of... we get plenty of what we need out of our social interaction just through these live streams. I like talking. I don't like texting. Maybe that's what it is. I just really do not like to text. Although, when it comes to phone calls, I'd rather text than phone call. So, texting is better than phone calling, but live streaming is better than texting. Boy, yeah, I definitely need therapy. I know a few people I talked to were like, oh, where's the server? And I was like, huh? And boom, it disappeared. I was low-key sad. I knew it would make people upset. I knew that that was probably not the best idea. However, I felt like I needed to do that. I hope that makes sense, and if it doesn't, I still stand by that. It's something I needed to do, and I did it. So, I can understand the frustration. Although I'm more of a texting person. Well, by all means, keep doing your texting thing. I like doing these broadcasts. Is my phone charged yet? My phone's charged. Huzzah! But yeah. Alright, let's move on to another thing. Nah, don't worry, it does. We understand. Well, I'm glad that you understand. I'm sure there's someone out there who's just like, I would never forgive you. But, like I said, I have to stand by what I do. I might find out years later that that was the wrong thing to do, but as for now, it's the right thing to do, so that's all I can go off of. Just like selling my Hot Wheels. I decided to sell my Hot Wheels, and who knows, maybe someday I'll regret that, but for now, that's what I need to do. What kind of podcast would you make? Well, I'm thinking the same kind of thing I do on TikTok Live. It's just me just about drawing and doodling, and then just trying to make a point out of it. However, I would like to eventually kind of write some points down. It's like I would like to cover these topics and make it an hour and a half, whatever felt like I did. Maybe I would start at 30 minutes, do a 30-minute podcast, so I don't overwhelm newcomers and stuff. But I would like to keep a chat going because I feel like these broadcasts just work better with the chat. The chat is part of the show. And I want to make sure that it's not just me talking into the void. I really want to keep the chats going. I don't know if I can make a podcast and keep the chat, but we'll figure it out. I'm pretty sure I can save these live streams, and I can just edit them down to size and put the full one up, and then make some shorts for like TikTok and Instagram and YouTube Shorts and blah blah blah. You know how it is. Oh, the Hot Wheels. Yeah, like I was a huge Hot Wheels kid, and for the longest time I gave it up, and then recently it came back. I started buying Hot Wheels again, and then I realized I'm buying all this stuff and I'm not helping my situation. And I was like, what if I just sold all this stuff? What if I just, wouldn't it be like its own sabbatical if I just got rid of it? Would I be free? Yeah, hell yeah. Thank you, you're Lesbo's favorite Lesbo. I'm pretty sure you're the only one in here right now, Lesbo, so we could talk about whatever we want. We could talk about cake. What's your favorite cake? What kind of cake? Like, I would like to say German chocolate cake if you haven't had it. I would like to say that's my favorite cake, but I know in my heart it's not. But it's definitely up there. I think my favorite cake would be something like, So I make from scratch, from absolute scratch, I make this very moist chocolate cake on chocolate frosting. And I make the frosting myself too, which actually is really darn easy. I didn't know how easy it was to make frosting. But I make my own frosting and would cover it in that moist chocolate cake. And it was just, oh my. You don't know German chocolate cake? Okay, so German chocolate cake, I guess the best way to describe it, it's a chocolate cake, and the frosting has, actually no, I think both the cake and the frosting have coconut in it, which is, I don't know why we call that German chocolate. It's an American thing. Us people here in the United States, we're not very smart. I don't know if you noticed this. I know that you're from Canada, so you probably have a lot of exposure to us. But we're not very smart. And we can make the dumbest names for everything. Our German chocolate cake is a chocolate cake with coconut in it. Yeah, see, you like that cake. Ooh, coconut. Yeah, I know some people are allergic to coconut. I'm not allergic to coconut, so I can enjoy it. But it's not my favorite cake. In fact, when I was a kid, I hated German chocolate cake because it had coconut in it. But now I like coconut. I also like Almond Joy, which also has coconut. Yeah. What was I saying? So I reckon I can save these broadcasts and then just turn them into short formats and post the whole video and post like a shorter video. That's like, it's still a big podcast, but it's edited down for, get rid of ums and ahs and pauses and me droning on about nothing. Does cheesecake count as a cake or a pie? I'll be honest, I've always put it in its own category. I never called it a cake or a pie. I mean, I know cheesecake is in the name, but I never referred to it as a cake. But I would imagine it would be closer to a cake than a pie. I imagine, because pie is usually covered with crust, right? You put a crust over the... Well, no, not all pies. Not all pies are covered. Like pumpkin pie isn't covered. That's a really good question, because it has crust at the bottom. I could see where cheesecake could be considered a pie. But like I said, I've always put it in its own category. Favorite cake would be some red velvet. Okay, I like where you're going, Lesbos, but what kind of frosting on a red velvet? That's important. Have some pies don't all have a crust like a sugar pie. I don't know what a sugar pie is. That's right, some pies are uncovered. Key lime pie is uncovered. Pumpkin pie is uncovered. So I could see where cheesecake is a pie. Classic cream cheese one. Oh, you are. Oh, with the red velvet? Heck yeah, dude. Heck yeah. You got good taste. Good literal taste. Now I want red velvet cake. Man. Remember that song, She Wore Blue Velvet? We're going to change it to You Ate Red Velvet. She ate red velvet. No? Okay. It's like a Canada cubic pie. It's very popular during spring. During spring. Thank you, King. You're very welcome. Thank you. I haven't been called King before. I don't think I have. Not that I remember. Feels nice. I like being called King. I don't feel like a king all the time, but certainly nice to hear. Yeah. Man, I need a drink. I'm eating all these daggum chocolate clusters. Because, you know, the comments are so delayed. I know, this is what's troubling me about YouTube, is how big the delay is. Like, TikTok is almost instant. Now, to be fair, I can save the broadcasts on TikTok, and I could just upload them to YouTube if I wanted to. But I wanted to see if I have an audience here on YouTube. Well, early spring, late winter. Is there a reason why that pie is more abundant at that time of year? Called the cabana a sucre. I don't think I pronounced that right. It's probably more like caban a sucre. Times, I don't know if it's a term or English or America. Well, we don't speak a lot of French here in the States. I mean, there's Louisiana. There's a lot of French in Louisiana. I guess that might count. I got the notif as soon as I heard. Well, that's good. Well, darn. I guess the notification settings would be better here on YouTube than it would be TikTok, because I hear it all the time on TikTok. I'll go live and everybody comes in and they said, "Oh, I didn't get the notification that you were live." So that happens a lot. I would imagine that YouTube is a little bit better on that. I have no idea. I guess it's a sort of tradition. French in Louisiana? I had no idea. Yeah, so a whole bunch of French Canadians moved down to Louisiana. I don't remember why politically they did it, but there was some issue where Canada was like, hey, let's do this thing. And all these French in Canada said, we don't want to do that. We'll move to the States. And they moved down to the Louisiana area. And so Louisiana is still, I mean, it's French, but it's Cajun French. So it's not the French that you recognize. And I know that the Canadian French is way different than European French. So there's European French, then there's Canadian French, different. Then there's Cajun French, which is what we got, way different. So there you go, a little history lesson for you. I don't go to the States often. You don't go to the States often, but you do go to the States. What kind of states do you like to go to? Oh, my fellow Quebecers in Louisiana. Yeah, come on down to Louisiana, and maybe you'll see some family out here or something. Yeah, it's really different. Yeah, I mean, and that's to be expected, right? So here in Texas, where I live, in Central Texas, there's this German community. They migrated from Germany. I do not remember when, but it was a long time ago. During the times when the Native Americans were still very much out and about. Because the Germans, they settled in Central America, they met up with the Native Americans, and they said, hey, is it cool if we live here? We're not going to bother you. And the natives are like, yeah, sure, we don't care. You know, like, do your thing, just don't bother us. Yeah, so the Germans were really cool, and the oldest generation of those Germans still speak German, but it's not the same German from Germany. So it's different. So like if a German speaker come down here, he would mostly understand what's going on, but it's a way different German. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I went to Washington once and Virginia Beach once too. Did you like it? Yeah, I hated it. I'm kidding. I'm putting words in your mouth. I'm sorry. Yeah. Okay, get rid of that drawing. Mr. Crowley, won't you ride my white horse? Whoa. What do you mean, whoa? What happened? What was whoa? History class didn't teach that. And to be fair, I learned that a lot from YouTube. I found the German settlement when I was working in Central Texas at the time. It was a little town called Fredericksburg, and they had a peach festival, and all the buildings looked like old-fashioned German buildings from Europe. And I was like, what is going on here? So I learned more about it on YouTube and stuff, and I'm like, yeah, it's this really cool place, and, you know, they still speak German. Well, the oldest generation still speaks German, and really cool little place. Really, really like a lost-in-time little joint. I want to go back there and really explore it and appreciate it. And my last name is probably German, so who knows? Maybe we'll have something in common. I don't know. It's worth a shot. You really liked it. Okay, cool. You really liked it. That's good to hear. I'm glad you liked it. I have not been to Canada yet. I've been very close, but I've never been to Canada. And one time I had a girlfriend from Canada, and she was like, hey, do you want to come down to Canada? I said, eventually. I said, I can't do it right now, you know, like, and unfortunately, I mean, it was just too much of a time delay, so she had to move on. But we broke up on good terms, so that was good. And she was very nice. I really liked her. German roots. I think it's German. See, the problem is my last name is an English and a German last name. So there were Germans who had my last name, and when it moved over to English, they spelled it Bright. But when it was in German, it was something like Breit, and then it got switched over. But there's also an English surname of Bright, and so I don't know if my name is German or English, but I do know I have some German roots. Ooh, which province was she from? She was probably Alberta. Yeah, I think she was in Alberta. It's been a while, unfortunately. Mr. Crowley. Oh, it is hot in this room. The problem is I could turn on the fan, but then it would overload the sound. So unfortunately, this house does not have the right air conditioner for this size house, so it makes the air conditioning complicated. Alberta, where the mountains and all. Never been to Alberta either. Canada is huge. I think Canada is bigger than the U.S., so it would make sense that you have not visited parts of Canada. Actually, there's a lot of the United States I have not visited. Although these last couple of years, when I've been on the road, I've actually seen a lot more of the U.S. than I was expected to see. I went and saw Florida for the first time. New Mexico. Well, the first time I ever spent time in New Mexico. I've driven through New Mexico many times, but I never actually stayed there. So I've been in New Mexico, New York, Florida, North Carolina, Georgia, Alabama, Maryland. Although I've worked in Maryland before, so that wasn't new. Yeah, there's a lot of the eastern states, and in Kentucky. I worked in Kentucky too. Never really been to Kentucky. I've only ever been to Quebec, where I live, and Ontario, Toronto. Canada is really huge. Now, I would imagine that Canada has a lot of uninhabitable locations, right? I would imagine that the bulk of y'all's population is probably just in a few areas, because Canada can get, I mean, it goes towards the North Pole. It gets very close. So I imagine there's not a lot of civilizations going up pretty far north, I would take it. Ooh, I really want to visit New York City one day. My friend is on the way right now for a convention. What kind of convention? And I have not been to New York City, just to New York State. And it's very pretty in New York. A lot of farmland out there. beautiful hills, but I've never been to New York City, and I don't really want to go. But if someone paid me to go, I would go. And like I said, what kind of convention was it, did you say? Was it a Mr. Crowley convention? Mr. Crowley. I'm sorry, that song is stuck in my head. Look, I've been playing it all day. I gotta turn this down because it's gonna be way too loud. Here we go. Turn it down right there. Like I said, I don't want to get YouTube striked, so just know that that's what I've been listening to all day. Yeah, I think some places in Nunavut is uninhabitable. I don't know what kind of convention he's going to. Surely a Comic-Con. I think the New York Comic-Con already happened, though, right? Let's take a look. When is New York Comic-Con? Oh, look at that. Yeah, sure enough. October 9th to the 12th. So it started yesterday. New York Comic Con is a big one. Sick guitar solo. Dude, this song has a double guitar solo. So you get through that first bit right there, and then he sings again, Mr. Crowley, and then they get another guitar solo. Sorry. Oh yeah, it's that one. New York Comic Con. Well, New York Comic Con is a good one. I used to go to the San Diego Comic Con a lot. That was the Comic Con. Unfortunately, when Twilight came out, remember Twilight? When Twilight came out, all these people who we've never seen at a convention, like comic convention before, were taking over the whole convention. They were the reason Comic-Con was happening. And so, like, it used to be a bunch of, like, fat cosplayers and people who were just really into comics, and it was very nerdy and very fun. But then, after Twilight, Comic-Con became a media convention, not a comic convention. They still call it Comic-Con, but it became mostly a movie convention. And I'm glad that people like it. I'm glad that people have something fun to do. But the Comic-Con that I know and love is gone. And it's been gone for a long time. So it's fine. It's fine. He's trying to get the Black Knight Sonic Funko Pop LOL. It looks so cool. Daggum. I didn't know people were still buying Funko Pops. I thought they were starting to wane in popularity. I guess I was wrong. He's a huge Funko collector. Twilight. I've only ever watched the last movie. Oh, well, don't feel bad. I mean, it's look, everything changes, everything moves, everything is evolving into something else all the time, every single day. I'm not upset that Comic-Con that I grew up with is gone. I'm only bringing it up because it's just like, as part of nature. It's the way things are. My goal is to go to a Comic-Con one day. I've never been. Like any Comic-Con or the Comic-Con, San Diego Comic-Con. Do you care which one it is? I'm sure I'll get an answer here in a minute. Any Comic-Con, okay. Let's see. I don't know of any ones in Canada, but there's got to be some good ones in Canada because all my favorite artists, like they'll update their social media. They have big conventions in Canada. I just don't remember which city. What's the big city in Canada? Is it Toronto? No. Is it Toronto? No. What's the big city? What's the city? Like when you think Canada, it's like, oh, you got to go to this city. It's probably that one. Every time I try to go, I always end up working. I would be very upset if every time I try to make plans, they said, no, you can't make plans. You have to work. It's Toronto. It was Toronto. Okay. So I'd imagine that Toronto would have a very significant, impressive Comic Con. You know what's difficult about working? They know that you need the job, so they're willing to put themselves in a position where you can't not work. It's like, but we need you. That's your problem. It's like, it's not my fault that you're a bad planner. I already said that I need this time off. Yeah, but we really need you, and you're gonna fire you if you don't come. So, you know how it is. They say that the important thing is to nip it in the bud right away. The first time it happens, you shut it down. But since that's the first time is already come and gone, you're in a much more precarious situation where it's like, okay, well, now I need to start setting up boundaries, but they already know that they can step on me. So now you're in it's not like it's your fault, but it is your responsibility, which is such a bummer. It does not make sense, but that's the way the world works. That's the way people work. Because once they've decided, oh, you're a person that we don't need to worry about your boundaries, it makes it that much harder to start setting up boundaries and expect them to be respected. So, like, if you started setting up boundaries right now, they would just kind of laugh at you. They're like, we don't need to make boundaries with you. We already know that we can break them. So it would actually, if you start setting up boundaries now, you would have to do it multiple times over. Maybe they're nice. Maybe they'll get it the first time. And they're like, you know what? Actually, you know what? You're right. We were overstepping. But it's probably not going to go down that way. Let me ask you, what kind of cuisine is this restaurant? Tell me what kind of cuisine this is. I might be able to help you. Trust me, it has everything to do with everything. It's not about where they're from. It's about what kind of cuisine it is. Trust me. I might be able to help in this situation. Especially if it's pizza. No, literally like last year, my boss told me he would call me before the night ends if he needed me the next day. He doesn't call, so I'm like, cool, no work tomorrow. I wake up to 5 missed calls because he forgot to call me the day before. I was pissed. That would have been, and don't take this as me judging you, that would have been the perfect moment to say, that's not my problem. You forgot that's your bad planning. Oh, it's like a rotisserie chicken restaurant. Ooh. Okay, I am not familiar with rotisserie chicken restaurants, so are they popular where you're at? Like, is that a thing, or is that kind of a niche, or however you pronounce it, niche? Is that pretty common, or is that pretty niche? I still might be able to help you. By the way, I love that you can turn the stylus over and you have an automatic eraser. I love that. I can't do that with my Apple Pencil on my iPad. But yeah, that would have been the perfect time to say, I'm sorry, but that's your bad planning, not mine. I've already made plans. Good luck. That would have been the perfect opportunity to do that. And like I said, I'm not judging because I've done that plenty times myself where I'm just like, hey, you know what? You're right. You need me. I'll come to work. And I wouldn't say it's popular, really. There's only like 3 restaurants so far in Cubic from where I've seen. I don't think they're outside of Cubic either. Okay, so we have a very niche restaurant. And do you live in a big city or a small city or medium? Yeah, no worries. Yeah, yeah, trust me, I'm not judging at all. I have done plenty of missed opportunities. I'm just wiser now because I have been taken advantage of so many times that I know what to look out for. I love how you say. Wait, how are you supposed to say it? Am I saying cubic? Cubic? What am I saying? Cubic? No, I live in a small town. Ah, okay. This is helping. Niche restaurant in a small town, and you're the only server with about 3 hosts. How would I handle the situation? How many dependents do you have? Do you live by yourself with any pets, kids, or anything? If you don't mind me asking, it's Quebec, 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 Quebec. I don't think I'm going to pronounce that correctly. I'm sorry. Can I just keep saying cubic, Quebec, Quebec? You could tell all your friends if you let me keep saying Quebec, I'll let you make fun of me, and you could tell all your friends like, yeah, this doofus was saying cubic all day. If you let me do that, I promise you can make fun of me. Now I have to live with my mom and 2 younger siblings. Okay, so you do have a little bit of bargaining power here. You're not desperately in need for money. No worries, it's silly. Okay, great. You're not in desperate need for money, I take it. It doesn't sound like that would be a situation where it's a say-all, end-all, where they know they could take advantage of you. I would say go ahead and start in smaller ways, putting up some boundaries. Because if you set up a big boundary right now, they'll laugh at you. If you set up a small boundary today, you can make a bigger boundary tomorrow, and a bigger boundary after that. Because these people are so used to just taking advantage of you. The easiest thing to do in most circumstances is just to quit and say, listen, I'm going to pursue other opportunities. Thank you so much for letting me work here. I have to run. That would be the thing that I would do most of the time, but I do know that you live in a small town, so there may not be a lot of options, I take it. How long have you worked with these guys? Mr. Krabs. Okay, I'm sorry, YouTube. I'm sorry. I won't do it again. Doofus. Okay. Quebec. 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 I don't think I'm saying that right. Oof, I don't think I could quit this job. There's not many options in this. The most paying job in my town. Aha, they got you. It's been 3 years now. Okay, so 3 years, that's going to look good in your resume. Or do you call it resumes or CVs? I hate CV. This sounds so weird. But it's such an easy thing to say. CV. Resume. Quebec. Okay. Boy. Here we go. So 3 years looks good in your resume. Do you have a car? CV, but resume is good too. Okay, so you use them both interchangeably. Is there a slightly bigger town close by, and do you have a car or access to a car? Mr. Crowley. No, not yet. Okay, so you are limited on what you can do. Okay, so the best thing I guess you can do right now, if you intend to keep this job, is to start setting up teeny tiny little boundaries until you can start making the big ones. I'm trying to get my license though. There you go. Trying to get your license. That's what I'm talking about. I am a huge driving person. I love to drive. I failed my last test, got my next practical one in a few days. Okay, good. So you already know what kind of focus you're going to need for the next time you test. That's good. Don't worry about failures. Failures are they're normal. They're part of growth. Um, what the heck? I feel like that you're going to get this right. I have a feeling. Let me move my canvas over to. Let me centralize it a little bit more. I don't like it this far away from the center of the screen, but I can make it work. Ooh, I like driving, but it does scare me. Like, oh God, driving next to trucks got me stressing. I will not suggest that you do this, but my approach to driving around trucks is, I'll show you. Here's my approach. So we are driving down this way, and we have a big truck in the right lane, right? So we've got a big truck in the right lane, and I'm approaching with my little Mazda 3, and it's two-way street, so this is a freeway, right? So there's two lanes. So I can drive in this lane if I want to, no big deal, right? So we got a couple of cars trying to pass the truck right now, okay? So the best thing you can do is stay behind this truck, wait for the gap to be about right here. That way you can speed up, so you'll have to go a little bit over the speed limit, a little bit plus. That way you'll spend less time, we'll make a time, spend less time beside the truck in their blind spot. This is their blind spot, right? So you wait for the gap to open up. That way you can just go ahead and speed up, get past the truck, get back in the right lane. You want to spend as little time beside the truck as possible. I don't know if I'm making any sense right now, but that's my approach to it. But one of the things that really stresses me about driving is when you're both going down the road, okay? And you realize you're going faster than this guy, right? This is them, this is you. So you say, I'm going to get in the passing lane, and I'm going to pass them up. And I'll get in front of them, blah, 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 right? So what they decide to do is, once you get right here, they start to speed up. And then they're in front of you. And then you're over here awkwardly going, what the heck just happened? You get back into the right lane. And then they slow down. And then you're right back here again. So you do it a second time. And then they do it again a second time. 3, 4, 5 times. So what I end up doing, if the speed limit is like 70 miles an hour, I crank it up 85. And I say, sayonara. I don't know how to spell it, but here we go. Sayonara. I'm out of there. I'm not dealing with that no more. Yeah, I understand. OMG. I know, right? One of the things that worries me most about driving, the most, is how stupid some drivers can be. That you could do everything right and they can mess up your day. And I'll catch myself all the time going over the speed limit to get away from certain types of drivers. I know it's not right to speed. I already know that. You and I both know that it's not the right thing to do. But the only two options are go slower than them or go faster than them. I'm not going to go slower. That's the thing with driving. I can't control other people, though. Sometimes it terrifies me. I am with you. I'm with you, for sure. But with the proper amount of breathing and learning to stay calm, you will be a sensational driver. And remember, anybody does something to piss you off, laugh it off. Just laugh. Just say, ha. That's done. It is what it is. As long as you're safe, as long as you're watching out for the cars around you, assume that no one can see you, no one is paying attention to you, that you'll drive extra safe, and you laugh off the problems. I think you'll be fine. Personally, that's what I think. Anyway, I've been talking this whole time. I just dropped something. I don't know what I dropped. Mr. Crow. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay, how long has it been? How long has the stream been going? I might need to go ahead and turn this off now. Why isn't the chat working here, but it works on OBS? I don't get it. I guess I'll have to change that in the settings. More stuff I gotta look up. Whatever. I was driving 40 in a 40, and the guy behind me was flashing at me and honking at a stop. He passed me and went really fast. I guess he was in a hurry. Oh, alright, I gotta go to work now. Alright, no worries. Let's just go ahead and into here. Is there a streaming schedule? Not yet. What I'm trying to do is just make some test streams so I can figure out the bugs, figure out what needs to change. Then I would like to make a streaming schedule. Plus, I would like to get another job before I start doing this a lot, because I got money right now, but I want to make sure the money keeps coming in, you know? Because I won't work again until probably January, so I better make sure that there's a nice steady flow coming in. But you know, keep your ears to the ground. I'll keep streaming on TikTok as well. For right now, just know that things are coming, but I don't know when or what just yet. Oh, hell yeah. Oh, hell yeah to you, too. And I wish you the best of luck at work. And I would suggest, please, yeah, I felt that, do try to make teeny tiny little boundaries at work to see if you can start making bigger ones in the future. And it might happen faster than you think. But I would strongly suggest try the smallest things. Like, I want to do that, but just let me finish this real quick. That's a boundary. That works really well. It's professional, and it's impactful, and then it lets you make a bigger one tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, best of luck to you. I hope you do well, and thanks for keeping me company and drawing all this weird stuff with me. I'm going to get out of here. You have a great day at work. You're very welcome, Lesbo's favorite Lesbo. Take care and have fun. Long live Canada. All right, I'm out of here.